Over the next 20 years, the creation of the GCV Green Network will transform the Glasgow and Clyde Valley area. Our aim is to make the Glasgow metropolitan region one of the most attractive places to live, work and play through the creation of a large, functional green network connecting our quality green spaces from Greenock to Lanark and Cumbernauld to East Kilbride. This is the shared ambition of the 8 local authorities and 5 major government agencies which make up the Green Network Partnership, and who are collectively responsible for making the Green Network vision a reality. Over the next 20 years, the Green Network Partnership will look to develop long-term relationships with a wide variety of people and organisations. In its simplest form, it is a catalyst, which adds value to the efforts of those who already work to improve green space by bringing about a step change in the scale, quality and scope of green space provision in the region.
The role of the partnership is to add value to the work of many organisations that are working to improve the quality of green space across the city region. So we're looking to bring those people together and to bring in other people to improve the quality of the green space that's here, improve the ambition of what we're trying to achieve, and obviously to try and attract new resources to be invested into green network and green space within the city region.
Basically, Green Network sums it all up. That's what it is. So that's a network that will infiltrate the actual metropolitan area and surround the metropolitan area.
Although we're talking about creating something physical, it's the benefits that are really important, and the idea is to improve people's quality of life, make a much more vibrant city, make a city which is sustainable for the 21st century and attract people and business to the area.
We have to start on these projects now, because in the next 3 or 4 years Glasgow is going to feature very much in the media of the world. Let's show them we've got something to be proud of.
The 1980s really shook out Glasgow metropolitan region as it did many other parts of the UK. Back in the early 80s, we had over 70%, 77% manufacturing employment.
An area that was reliant on a lot of engineering and shipbuilding, heavy industry. As that industry has declined, the whole area is facing challenges.
We have 70% manufacturing employment in this city region now. Yes, there are a number of areas that are still deprived, not as many as there used to be, but in terms of those people's access to livable green space, to clean air, to lack of congestion, to lack of pollution, green network thinking becomes a fundamental part of that. The whole urban paradigm is changing. It has to. There's a lot of people way ahead of us, but green network is utterly integral to that thinking about how you create a much more sustainable city region.
Creating an environment that is really attractive and of great value is hugely important to people's lives. Allowing it to degrade, of course, is a disaster. You know, it leads to people living in communities where they feel that no proper regard is being paid for the places in which they're living, and there's a lowering of morale, and that feeds into all sorts of aspects of health and indeed the economy as well. You know, so maintaining and enhancing the green space of our towns and cities is a very important thing.
Well, for us, Scottish Government's investing over £1.5 billion over the next few years in affordable housing, and we see the Green Network as complementing that investment by creating strong communities where people want to live in nice environments. Well, a whole range of types of area will benefit. Partly it will be areas where there's regeneration work underway, but also we're dealing with new communities and working with planners and others to ensure really good quality places that people want to live in.
I think it's very important that local people feel a personal ownership of their green space and their green network. For the whole community, it's very important that they all have a say in how they're designed and how they're laid out to make them a real success.
When people make decisions, investment decisions, whether that's where to locate a business, where to live, where to study, where to work, then the quality of the place, the quality of environment is really, really important. And in a very competitive global economy, we need to make sure that in Scotland we have that competitive edge in terms of the place that we are offering people to make those critical decisions about.
The cruise ships do come in every year. There's about between 25 and 30 come into the ocean terminal, and in the past they've tended to get on coaches and go to different parts of Scotland for the day. What we are trying to do is encourage them to stay.
Businesses will become involved with the Green Network for a range of reasons. A number of businesses will do it because they view their corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they want to be part of a community and an environment, and they want to contribute to that community and environment beyond providing employment. Other businesses will become involved because there are real business opportunities around this network. Others will become involved because it's an opportunity to reskill the people and enhance the skill base of the people.
I try to imagine what it would be like growing up in an area where you couldn't hear birdsong, where you couldn't go out and have the chance of seeing butterflies or dragonflies, where it wasn't possible to dip your hand into some water somewhere and find some small beasties, where there wasn't grass that you could run across and kick a football. If you're going to be designing green space for wildlife, it's really quite important that one thinks about what is growing in it, the degree that it is connected up with other spaces, because wildlife won't survive long in small islands. There are many species of plants and animals that need the space in which to move about themselves. So that interconnectivity is very important. There's a lot of talk these days too, of course, about global warming. Green space can certainly contribute something to our response to these major challenges. Trees growing in green space are capturing carbon. That's pretty good compared with most of the things we do in our lives, which are pumping the carbon out.
We do a lot of work with young people at schools, trying to engage with people, bring them out into the woods, explain to them what it's all about, get them interested in the outdoors, and hopefully that experience will stay with them for the rest of their days.
We've got big problems in Glasgow. Our health is poorer than it is in many other areas, both of the UK and of Europe, and we have huge health inequalities, which my organisation and I am very keen on addressing. Where people live, the neighbourhoods in which they live, and the opportunities that they have within those neighbourhoods will influence both their health and their well-being.
Green space and woodlands can improve the quality of people's lives in so many different ways. It provides opportunities for outdoor recreation and access, which contributes greatly to people's enhanced well-being and health. Just as an example, we've now got GPs advising that patients join one of our local health clubs so they can get out, take some active, healthy recreation and improve their health in that way. People need access to facilities on their doorstep, and that's one of the reasons why green networks are so important.
For those people who enjoy green spaces, they often find them as a really good place to go and relax and unwind and begin to get a better sense of proportion about life. And so for those people, there will be direct effects on their well-being. Even for those where they just use it as a place to take physical activity, we know that increasing your levels of physical activity also improve your mental health and well-being, so the two act together. Improving your mental health and well-being will also improve your physical health. It's all in a big circle.
The vision for the Green Network was born out of the City Region's Joint Structure Plan and has been embraced by central and local government plans and strategies. A transformed environment is an ambitious vision, but one that can be delivered if we all play our part. The planning system is one of the most important means of realising the vision.
I think it's absolutely important that the Green Network is brought in at the beginning when you're considering how an area develops and how an area will change. It's very tempting to think about economic development and attracting business, but there's no point redeveloping an area if it doesn't have an acceptable environment. And so bringing it in right at the outset is one of the three important planks. That's the critical factor.
Well, at a national level, the creation of green networks really helps to deliver the government's 5 strategic objectives and contributing to sustainable economic growth.
So it's about making new places community regeneration, placemaking. That's one of the key aspects of green networking.
So one of the things we've been working on is very specific detailed guidance for planners, so that when they come to make their decisions they think, right, green network, how does it fit into that network? They've got a volume they can refer to. And that's at the planning stages at the moment, it's at the early stage, but it's something we think is going to be very important.
Well, I think the green network's not really just about open space and trees and areas of grass. I mean, these are strategic corridors where, for example, you can take water services, supply electricity and power supply. There are huge benefits to creating path and cycle networks. In fact, even the railway corridors themselves can form part of the green network, somewhere where wildlife can get through from one area to the next. One of the challenges in planning is getting planning, for example, to talk to engineers or for housing officials to talk to planners, and that's one of the things we're working very hard to achieve. If we do that, and on green networking, get the communication going and the contacts with people that can deliver all that sort of work, then we'll get a satisfactory outcome.
If the green network and the needs of the people who are living in the area are put at the centre of the development rather than at the end, then we'll get much better neighbourhoods and much healthier neighbourhoods.
It's easy to do things in a piecemeal way, but that doesn't really affect real change.
I think we hope that in 20 years' time there'll be much more of green networks across the urban areas, particularly in the Glasgow area. We hope that these will be contributing more and more to people's quality of life. More and more people will be using these networks in order to gain a healthier and happier lifestyle, that people will be more attracted to live in these areas because of the green networks, that businesses will be more attracted to set up in these areas because of the green networks, and that generally, Glasgow will just look and feel a much nicer and better place.
Well, I'm hoping that in 20 years' time we'll have a fantastic environment around Glasgow and Clyde Valley, a number of flagship projects that have been delivered, really achieving a high-quality green spaces across the whole conurbation, something that's renowned across Europe.
A city where we're no longer famed for being the sick man of Europe, and where health inequalities are just considered a thing of the past.
Well, I think we'll have been successful in 20 years' time when the green network is delivered if people recognise that their quality of life has been affected, and they recognise that the Glasgow city region is a much greener, more vibrant place because of the quality of the green space and the green network, which runs from their doorstep right out into the countryside.
I'd quite like it if people in other cities glanced across in this direction with a degree of envy at the quality of the environment that Glasgow had.
Over time, the network will become a connected web of green spaces that spread across the entire GCV area. It will improve people's quality of life, provide havens for wildlife, and attractive locations for business investment and tourism.
We've talked, but now we're actually starting. We're actually going to be doing something. We're actually going to be achieving something.
This project has scale, it has ambition, and that's what's going to make real change, and I find that incredibly exciting.